morning. It's Thursday the 3rd of November 2022 and I'm starting and ending today's walk here in Millersdale. Millersdale lies on the banks of the River Wye, surrounded by the limestone crags of the White Peak. A local landmark is the viaduct, first built by the Midland Railway in 1866. Increasing traffic meant that a second viaduct, parallel to the first, was built in 1905, increasing the number of tracks to 4. Yeah, they do look really impressive from down below. I'll be crossing them in a minute. The village consists of a characterful church and a cluster of pretty houses. This is a restored water wheel, marking the site of the old meal mill, demolished in 1972. The lovely country pub of the Angler's Rest is also well worth visiting. Renowned for its real ales and good food, it makes a perfect stopping point for a break by the river, and it's dog-friendly too. Just before the pub, I took a path which took me over a wooden footbridge spanning the River Wye. Reaching the other side, the path climbed up onto the old Midland Railway, this section of which is now part of the Monsell Trail. So I'm on the Monsell Trail again. Just going to be doing another short stretch of it today. So a little bit of flat walking for a while before I start to climb up a bit later. A few metres along the trail, I turned left up some steps to reach the remains of an old lime kiln. Oh, careful I don't bump my head. I've had that before. Yeah, great. I retraced my steps to continue along the Monsell Trail. I'm actually walking on top of the viaducts now. Let's just have a look and see how far down it is. It's a long way down. Oh, still impressive though. Beyond the viaducts, I came to the old Millersdale station, which closed in 1967, around a year before the closure of the railway line. Today there is a cafe in the old station building. It's nice to see that they've got a cafe inside the old station now. It's only been there a few years, but it's lovely and I think it's really popular. I've still not been in yet, so if it's still open when I finish the walk, I might pop in and have a cup of tea. I carried on following the Monsell Trail in the direction of Wydale. In a few minutes, I took a quick detour along a narrow path off to the right, which climbed up to something fascinating. Right, so what am I approaching now then? Let's have a look and see. Now, this is a bit more interesting. Oh well, some more remnants of our history.
I'm now on top of another lime kiln. Yeah, this one's got a bit more interesting to see than the other one. Great view from up here as well.
From 1880 until 1944, these lime kilns produced over 50 tons of quicklime a day. Trucks used to bring in coal to burn in the kilns and take the quicklime away.
There's a bit more to see here. Let's have a look at this then. Oh, spooky. Mind my head. Well, it doesn't go back very far, but... It's great. I do like to see these old remains of things, our industrial history. Oh, yeah, this is very interesting. Well, I better get a move on. It's 20 past 11 and I started filming 2 hours ago and I've barely left Millersdale, so I need to get cracking.
Moving on from the lime kiln, I approached a viaduct crossing the Wye. Here I left the Monsell Trail for today, as I turned right, went down some steps and followed the riverbank upstream to the foot of Cheadale.
Familiar spot? I think I might have filmed a walk here last year. Yeah. But I'm not going up Cheadale today. I bet Cheadale's a lot less busy than it was when I last walked it. Just remember it was a bank holiday weekend when I did it. Yeah. But instead, today, I'm going to be walking away from the Wye now. I'm going up this way. Up towards Wormhill. Last weekend the clocks went back, so it means the days are getting shorter and shorter now as we sort of draw closer to winter. I mean, it's a lovely day now, really nice, but I just don't know how much daylight I'm going to get. So I think yesterday it sort of started to get dark before 4 o'clock, so I need to make sure that I get this walk finished before then if I can. So yeah, that's why I tend to sort of slow down with the filming when it gets to November, because so the days are shorter, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm doing this film today and I would like to do at least 2 more this year. We'll just have to see how it goes.
The path climbed up high above the river, eventually curving right over the shoulder of the hill. Passing through a narrow wooded side valley above a stream, I went through a gate to emerge onto a lane, where I headed uphill into the village of Wormhill. This pretty village is a peaceful, pleasant place with a large village green where there is an impressive memorial to James Brindley, the renowned civil engineer and canal builder, who was born in 1716 in Tunstead, just outside the village. The village well is also dedicated to James Brindley.
Oh dear. Must be closing time soon.
Wormhill also has a set of ancient stocks, which I passed as I walked through the village.
Here they are again.
Wormhill has a fascinating, if rather grisly, history of wolf hunting, dating back to the 14th century. The last wolf in England was allegedly killed at Wormhill Hall in the 15th century. The village church of St Margaret's has a medieval tower dating from 1273, although this has been altered and extended over the centuries.
I've never seen Wormhill Church before. You can't see it from the road, so it's nicely hidden. It's a quaint little place. Can't go inside, sadly, because the door's locked. But, yeah, fantastic. I just love that church tower. That is something else, isn't it? Right, I better move on now then.
From the church, I left Wormhill as I took a path across the fields.
See if I can get through this gate. I was pushing it open with one hand and holding the tripod and camera in the other. Not bad. Not bad at all. Quite pleased with that. Well, it's about 1:45 now, so I think I'm going to find somewhere soon to have my lunch because I'm feeling a little bit peckish. It's funny because when I was in Millersdale this morning, just as I was sort of taking a few shots before doing the major part of the walk, there was a guy that sort of saw me with my camera and tripod, and he just sort of went, "What's that then?" You know, I said, "Sorry." I mean, I knew what he was asking me. I was just being a bit bloody-minded there, really. But he said, "Well, so what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just taking pictures," I said. And he was all right, actually. I sort of spoke to him briefly about what I was doing. But, you know, I've been making films, really, on and off. I started filmmaking in the late 80s. So I do wonder sometimes when people ask me, I think to them, especially now, after all these years, you know, I think, you know, have you never seen a camera before? I think it's just the fact that people seem a bit suspicious when they see you with a camera and tripod. You know, and I think, well, you know, I'm just taking pictures. What is so suspicious about that? But I just think we live in a very sort of suspicious world. You know, people are not very trusting, really, are they?
I soon met a wall's track and followed it right. The track meandered between the fields, and the views across the open countryside were to die for. After about half a mile, I went through a gate into sloping pasture, heading towards a lane I could see at the bottom.
I'm dropping into the dale now then. I'm reaching a lane. And this lane, I was on the last walk. On the last walk because I came down there. Peterdale. I enjoyed that walk. So today I'm going to be carrying on down the dale because I turned off and followed the lane up that way last time. But I'm going to be going down that way. I'm going to be following Monksdale. So Monksdale is the first dale I walked through on my walk when I was 19 years old, back in my first holiday in the Peak District way back in 1986. And I'd stayed in Buxton Youth Hostel, walked down to Millersdale from Buxton the next day, and then from Millersdale I walked up here through Monksdale, and then, as my previous walks, I carried on up through Peterdale, Haydale and Damdale up to Peak Forest. So yeah, all those dales in one day, and spent the night in Edale Youth Hostel. Yeah, happy memories. Monksdale is a very beautiful dale. But yeah, the path is very rocky, so it does make it quite difficult underfoot. But, it's funny actually, looking back now to myself as a 19-year-old coming to the Peak District for the very first time. I was just blown away by the area overall, really, but when I did the walk from Buxton down to Millersdale, then up through all these dales, obviously did it the opposite direction then, I think what blew me away about it was the fact that I walked through this beautiful Monksdale, and then you sort of, as you go through the dales further north, by the time you get to Damdale, the landscape was just very open and wide and rugged, and I just remember going, wow, it's just beautiful. It's really blew me away. So that's another of the many memories I have of my first visit to the Peak District. And I think I sort of may have said back then, I can't quite remember, but I may have said, oh, one day I'd like to live in this area. And here I am. I've now lived in the Peak District for, well, come the new year, it'll be 20 years. It's amazing, really. I think what's scary about it is the older you get, the quicker time seems to go. Look at this, absolutely stunning. This is definitely the best part of Monksdale for me, I think. I think because it's open and you get much grander views. I mean, all of it's beautiful anyway. I think, as I say, because it's so rocky underfoot in the wooded section, and also because there are a lot of fallen trees which you've got to climb over or duck under, it makes it very hard going. But as I say, do not be put off by coming to Monksdale. It's gorgeous. I'm not much further to go now anyway, I don't think. I think I'm quite close to Millersdale. But before I get to Millersdale, I'm going to give today's shout out. And today's shout out goes to Gary Carr. Hi Gary. Now Gary comes from down south. He's actually been watching my videos. But the funny thing was, sort of early this year it was, I think, he was in Matlock staying for a week, I think. And I was out with my friends Oliver and Chiz, and in one of the pubs, Gary was there having a drink himself. So he came over and introduced himself. It was nice, yeah, nice to meet you, Gary. Thanks for coming over to say hello. And Gary came and joined us for a while, and he was saying to my friends, oh, I've been watching this chap on YouTube, he said, and my friends were loving it. As I say, they were just sat there at the table just going, bow down, they were going to me. The gits. Hey, it's all good fun, isn't it?
Passing back into woodland, the path dropped to a bridge spanning the stream, before rising to a meadow as I reached Millersdale again.
So I'm back in Millersdale. Just see the top of the church there. But I'm not going back down into the village now. I'm going to go up this way, and I'm going to go back to the Millersdale station, which is where my car's parked. This has been another really lovely walk. Can't remember the last time I walked through Monksdale. But I've just made it back now. It's just after 3 o'clock, so it's taken me less than 6 hours to film this walk today. The main thing is I've managed to complete it before the sun drops and it gets dark, so there's probably about an hour left of sunlight today, I don't know, but you know, the nights are drawing in earlier now. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed following me on today's walk. Nice easy one today. Well, I say easy, it was a short distance, but yeah, Monksdale was tough, as I say, because of it being so rocky underfoot. But you know, it's still beautiful to visit all the same. But yeah, just bearing in mind how rocky it's been, you know, and sort of quite wet as well, I'm really surprised that I haven't actually fallen over today. There you go. Oh shit, so I can do it. Fell on my knee rather than my arse, but there you go.